real quick.
Please welcome the 86th Miss Howard University, Damaris Moore.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare
Please welcome the Howard Gospel Choir of Howard University.
Listen, now we're about to sing a song that we know that you know. So when we get to your part, we just want you to say, "Oh, happy day."
Please welcome the president of Howard University, Dr. Ben Vinson.
Good evening, everyone. Let's give it up one more time for Miss Howard and the Howard Gospel Choir. They were amazing. Well, everyone, welcome to Howard University. You know. Tonight, you stand on proud, hallowed ground. Hallowed ground that has been witness to history. You stand on grass sown by our ancestors, flanked by buildings whose bricks have witnessed ex-slaves become scholars. Tonight, you bask in the shade of our trees. And here in our yard, each tree is more. Each tree is a symbol, standing tall with ancient roots, nourished in the rich soil of our ancestors, blossoming each season with abundant new growth, in unity and unison that is absolutely beautiful. Many of these trees stand for the Divine Nine. Black sororities and fraternities built at the dawn of the 20th century to unify and fortify the soul and spirit and to emblaze culture among us. The yard you stand in, the ground you stand on, nourishes excellence. And the buildings surrounding you are used to teach and empower generations. But more importantly, for tonight, our yard, which is a symbol of unity, a nexus point for this campus. Tonight, our yard is open in unity for all people. People of all races, creeds, gender, ethnicities, and backgrounds. This unity is an essential part of Howard's fabric. You see, 157 years ago, we were founded on a promise to complete America. A promise of deliverance, in that all men and women, armed with the power of education, could rise and taste the fruits of freedom and become productive citizens for our nation and our globe. In little under a century after America's founding, our great nation endured one of its most trying moments, one of national division, rupture, conflict, manifested in a gruesome and devastating civil war. In the aftermath, as our nation healed, it sought to expand and restore the promise of freedom for our nation and all of its citizens. The previously disenfranchised found solace, and they found opportunity right here at Howard. As newly freed slaves entered our doors to work and uplift themselves upward into the rungs of America. In 1867, in those early days, all came here. Black Americans, immigrants, Asians, Europeans, and women too. They found an educational home here well before they were accepted in universities elsewhere. And since then, we've produced a legacy and lineage of leaders. Thurgood Marshall, Shirley Franklin, Elijah Cummings, Toni Morrison, Ralph Bunche, Zora Neale Hurston, Stokely Carmichael, Patricia Roberts Harris. Tonight, as our nation votes, as we observe a time-honored ritual of our democracy, encompassing the right for our voices to be heard, the right for us to express ourselves across aisles. Tonight, as we continue the hard and necessary work of democracy, the work that advances our nation forward, we at Howard are proud and honored to be able to host our alumna and welcome her home. Now, everyone, you've been hearing this throughout the night. For those of you who haven't been to our campus, we have a little saying here at Howard. It goes a little bit like this, and I want you to participate with me tonight. We salute each other here at Howard. When we say, H-U, yes, we respond with a strong you know. I want everybody to join in tonight. H-U, as I close, we say this because here we know our history. We know our importance. We know the contributions we can make to the world. And we know that completing the work of America and completing the work of democracy entails the type of knowledge born in institutions like these, pillars of higher education that mold citizen leaders for the world and for a better tomorrow. With that, everyone, one last time, H-U! Thank you.
Still at 16%. Kevin, go ahead and arm up. Look at Cotton County, just to the northwest Atlanta there. This is Newt Gingrich's own district, heavily Republican for decades, and around 2016 it flipped toward the Democrats, and right now a little more than 50% of the vote in. So Kevin, come on back down here a moment. One county I haven't checked in on, when you look at the African-American turnout, look at Chatham. Chatham is where Savannah is, down there along the coast. You only have 5% of the vote reported. Chatham was one of these counties in 2020 that took forever to get the vote in. I don't know if that's going to be the same way again this year, but we're waiting to see about African-American turnout, as we suggested a moment ago, about African-American men supporting Donald Trump. Let's go and look at the vote margin rather for Georgia. The vote margin for Georgia right now, let's go statewide. So we move away from Chatham. We go statewide in Georgia. So Chatham's still at 5%, and for statewide, you're at 44%. So a lot of vote out for Pete State. Go ahead and clear this, and we'll get back to this in a moment in Georgia and elsewhere. So,
I think that's really interesting about what's coming in. I think that these states, as these numbers come in, Democrats have high hopes about some places like Texas, about something like Ohio, where they look at the insults report from Des Moines and say, is this indicative of the Midwest? But we're not seeing that, Fox News vote analysis.
I haven't checked Ohio yet. It's a good state here to examine because Trump won 20 by 8 points. Let's measure the strength right now in 2020. We're about halfway in, okay? Kamala Harris doing better on the margins here. 3.5 points statewide, so some vote out there. But Trump has proven to be pretty strong here in Ohio the last 2 times around. We'll see whether or not he will. Big Senate race in Ohio as well. Bernie Moreno against Sherrod Brown. We'll track that throughout the night as well. Basically in Ohio, you've got Cincinnati and Hamilton County. You got Columbus and Franklin County. You got Cleveland and Cuyahoga. Those are your 3 main population centers. They have been blue for some time. I would not expect them to be even a shade of rose. Okay, let's go to my hometown. That's Hamilton County. Strong performance here. About 2/3 of the vote going to Kamala Harris. This is one of these places that, the cities where the progressives and the Democratic movement has got to be pretty strong, especially in local government as well in that city. This is Franklin County. You got Ohio State University there, so you got strong student vote as well. Greater than 2/3 going to Kamala Harris right now. In 2020, the final vote in Franklin County, which is Columbus, you had 65% of the vote for Joe Biden there. So a little bit of the vote still out there, but she is overperforming Biden's number from 4 years ago. And this, I'll just finish up here, guys. Scott Hogan, check this. Heavily Democratic, 3-1 Democratic votes in Cleveland, Ohio. Cuyahoga, just about a third of the vote right now is in. And Kamala Harris, 71%. And Biden was at 66. So that'd be a good number for Kamala Harris if indeed that holds up. And I think that kind of tells us a little bit about why this number is closer than it's been the last 2 times. You want to talk to your co-author?
Well, one of the things I think is pretty interesting is that especially when you're looking at or considering the political realignment that we're living in and also the population changes, right? So post-COVID, people leaving the North and the Midwest and going South. That's one of the things that somebody from Colorado will say. All these people moved in from California, and Colorado was reliably red when I was a kid. It is now reliably blue. And so you get South Park making fun of California all the time and being very frustrated that they moved there. That's not happening in the South. So if people are leaving the Northeast and moving to Florida, they're not all of a sudden bringing a bunch of Democratic politics with them. So there might be a little bit of a change here to watch in the numbers there. The other thing I wanted to say is that one of the things I think we're seeing, especially with some of these lower propensity voters, or whatever we're calling them, unlikely voters, is that the policy of the Biden-Harris administration pushed them into politics and into voting because their situation is dire. And they want a better life. So they went to the rallies, and they went to the podcasts, and they had fun, and they got involved. What will be interesting to see is, Kellyanne might be able to correct me, but as I understand it, if you don't vote often or if you're a first-time voter, whichever party you vote for the first time, you're likely to vote for that party the second time, and then you might have that voter for life. So the political realignment that is happening and the coalitions that Harris and Trump are putting together could have longer legs.
Well, it goes to what Kellyanne was saying earlier about the working element of the Republican Party shifting. And I think that when you look at Ohio, you are seeing a concentration likely coming from the suburbs, which is leaning more to Harris.
Something else I see very quickly, and I've seen in Virginia. Remember, this is the first presidential election since Glenn Youngkin was elected, where we're trying to talk all the issues of weakness and education and just really post-COVID policies. These school board elections. I think we're having a parents' rights renaissance in this country that continues. And I think two pillars that we don't cover enough in all the issues and themes here are wokeness and weakness. In our Fox News voter analysis, Trump is seen as the strong leader by more than 10 points over Kamala Harris, strength over weakness. But it's also fairness over wokeness. People feel like life is increasingly unfair. They don't want men and women in sports. They don't want to think their kids are stuck in school based on their zip code. They don't want the pipe fitters and plumbers to pay for student loans of doctors and lawyers. And they don't want 10 million people to come here, including in all these states we're seeing, and get cash and cell phones and clothing and hotel rooms. They just say it's unfair. But wokeness is on the ballot, whether we feel it or not. I'll never understand how Kamala Harris chose someone in Tim Walz who was to the left of her on the woke agenda.
So you look at, we talk about early surprises. Jason and I love sports, so you, right? When you can get a quick touchdown in the game against somebody you're not supposed to beat. If he wins Virginia, this is a big thing. This is one of those early things that could go your way. Similarly, her numbers in Ohio are interesting to me. I did not think, you talked about the Seltzer poll, and Jessica and I talked about this before we got on. That number suggests that's what she was suggesting. You can close there. We'll see as the night goes on. But Georgia, North Carolina still the states that she's got to perform well and maybe win one. And if he can win Virginia, we thought we would have a long night. We might have a longer night as we think about these numbers here over the next.
It'll be interesting. It might be a shorter night.
Or shorter.
So Virginia. So we really have to look at the gender breakdown in the states and where we are half the vote in some place like Ohio, Texas, where that vote's coming from. We're going to build that.
Yeah. In minutes away, right? That is what we're dealing with. We're going to get some major poll closings that are coming up. Arizona, Michigan, and Wisconsin, all about to close. And Sean Hannity will enter on chat as our special coverage continues.
prescription drugs to groceries to housing. Donald Trump will raise costs on you and your families. In fact, independent economists have analyzed our plans and found that mine will cut your costs and strengthen our economy. His will increase inflation and lead to a recession by the middle of next year.
Independents, Republicans didn't find what they wanted. Again, we're watching for independents.
That's right. So you can see there, independents gave this a D, Democrats gave it an A, Republicans gave it an F. Now, I think what's so interesting about the independent voter there is they really were turned off when they heard her talk about the middle class. And I also heard from voters there they wanted more specifics on the economy, and they said that you can find experts to reinforce whatever you want to believe. I'd rather hear what you're going to do for me.
Yeah, all right. I want to go to Alexandria now, Republican registered voter. Still not sure all the way up until the time you voted. What did you do and why?
Well, thank you so much for having me tonight, Eris. And I think that for me, both candidates really had to prove themselves. They had to win my vote. And they can talk about everything relative to the economy, but what really matters is what actually happens. And we have to ask ourselves, was it easier to buy groceries under the Biden administration or under the Trump administration? And for me, I can say personally that I am concerned with the direction that the country is headed in. And I would say for a vast population of the electorate, that the same sentiment is shared. So I think that we all have to really contextualize all this information and ask ourselves the actual questions of how we feel in the circumstances.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Donald Trump.
All right, this is the second time, you're 22, that you voted in a presidential election. Was your vote different this time than it was in 2020? Did you vote for him last time?
I did not vote for him last time.
Sounds like the economy made a huge difference. All right. This is fun. Getting to know all of you as we watch in real time. We've got some races that are coming in too, and we don't want to miss a minute with Brett and Martha. So we will hear more from the voters' voices throughout this evening. So glad to be here with all of you. Brett and Martha, back to you.
Thanks so much.
So we welcome Sean Kennedy to the panel. Sean, you're watching all of this along with us tonight, and you say that you have some significant takeaways already.
I have a lot of takeaways from tonight. Obviously, you guys have gone over the issues and what is important to people, what they've been telling all the pollsters, exit polls, etc. I'm looking at this from a little bit different perspective tonight. To me, it's a numbers game. I was on with Dana and Bill Hammer earlier today, and I made the point going into today that Kamala Harris and her team had a numbers problem. And the numbers problem was they didn't have anywhere near the votes or the percentages of votes that they had in 2020 when it was Biden and Harris. Now, that's a math problem that you have to overcome with unprecedented day of voting, which Democrats are not used to doing. I've checked in with a lot of people that I trust, a lot of people that I think have a lot of knowledge in individual states. For example, Reince Priebus, long conversations with him. He feels that the turnout was so massive for Republicans in the lead up to today, and that the Democrats did not show up in the numbers that would be needed to overtake that early lead that was built up in the early voting. And that's also backed up by Mark Halpern. He took a look, he's been doing a really good job analyzing numbers, I think. Now, in Philadelphia, I'm trying to get an answer that I'd like an important question to. I did notice other networks, they kept showing Temple University and a massive line of students. Okay. The only problem was, if you go back to early voting in 2020, the Democrats had a 1.1 million vote lead heading into election day. This year is about 400,000. So that's a 700,000 vote decline in a year. That would mean today they would have needed massive turnout. They would need massive turnout. Yes, at the universities, it seems like they got it. But there's about 25,000 students that go to Temple. There's about 10,000 that go to Penn State. There's about 6,000 that go to Lehigh University. Okay, that's not making up 700,000 votes. So then we look at traditionally. Who else is voting in Philly? African Americans, a lot of union workers. Did they show up in the numbers? There are people reporting there was a massive turnout in Philly today. I just got off the phone with the Trump War Room in Philadelphia, and they said they don't see it. Now, it's either one way or the other. The fact that they don't know the answer to that is a little surprising to me. If those numbers aren't there, that means Pennsylvania is a state that is in the state of play, big time tonight. It may not show up early, but it will show up as the night evolves, just like Wisconsin will.
I would just say one of the things about college students is that there's been such a focus on young men, and these podcasts are the podcasts that college boys are watching and listening to. Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan, Jake Paul, all of these guys. So, just because they're in college doesn't mean this time around that they're necessarily living the way that you think college students
I also welcome Kaylee McEnany and Trey Downey. Kaylee, the interesting thing I mentioned earlier was Florida. We've already called that state for the former president, but inside those numbers, there's a massive Puerto Rican turnout in Osceola County and other places.
Yes.
In other places, the media will tell you that MSG rally really upset the Puerto Rican vote outpouring, but Trump won that overwhelmingly with a massive Puerto Rican turnout. I'm not sure it affects things one-to-one, but it is interesting to look at.
It is. So Osceola County, as you point out, a big Puerto Rican population. Listen to this. Joe Biden won Osceola County by 14%. With 95% reporting currently, Donald Trump is leading by 1. Now, what other national lessons can we take for Florida? Miami-Dade County, a huge Latino population. No presidential candidate has won that since 1988. Ron DeSantis, of course, won Miami-Dade as a governor. But currently, Donald Trump in Miami-Dade County with 95% reporting is plus 11.
Thank you. The electoral vote count about to go up. Stay tuned.
We are seconds away from 15 states, including New York, Colorado, Texas, plus critical battlegrounds.
We are going to win the state of Michigan.
We need to fight this battle on every front.
163 electoral votes on the line. We have the results as they come in. The moment is here. America is watching.
It is 9 o'clock in New York. Another 15 states have just finished voting. This is the heat of the matter here. The Fox News decision desk says it's too early to call Michigan, one of the two battlegrounds in the Rust Belt, that just finished voting, part of that blue wall that we hear about all the time.
The other is Wisconsin, where Vice President Harris and former President Trump appear to be locked in a very tight race. And again, this is too early, not too close, but too early to call many of these races. Arizona also too early to call as the polls are closing there.
Fox News can project that former President Trump will win Texas. That racks 40 more electoral votes into his power. Former President also has a lead in Iowa. There's no call on the top of the hour here. Remember that Iowa poll had people scrambling there, but they don't register saying it was Harris leading by 3.
Yeah, the same day Emerson had him up by 10, but that got a lot of people's attention because Ann Seltzer is such a well-known and usually correct pollster. So we'll see how Iowa plays out tonight. In Nebraska, the Fox News decision desk can project that Trump will win the statewide vote. Nebraska gives 2 electoral votes to the winner of the state and 1 vote to the presidential winner in each of their districts. So Trump will also win Nebraska's 1st and 3rd districts, the more suburban 2nd district, Omaha, which is the blue dot that we have talked so much about. That is too early to call, but Harris has a lead there.
The Fox News decision desk can project that Vice President Harris will win New York, giving the Vice President 28 more electoral votes. She also has a lead in Minnesota. Too early to call the state of Minnesota, which closed in recent days for the poll.
Obviously, the vice presidential candidate Tim Walz from Minnesota, and now Fox News can project a Harris victory in Colorado as well. She gets 10 more electoral college votes there. New Mexico, too early to call, but Harris has a lead according to our Fox News voter analysis in New Mexico.
Former President Trump will win Louisiana, which has voted for a Republican in every election this century. Pretty sure we're going to get that one. Trump also wins Kansas, adding another 6 electoral votes to his town.
The former president will win North Dakota, a longtime conservative state as well. He will also take South Dakota, which often mirrors the biggest name to the north.
And Fox News can project that the former president will win Wyoming with 3 electoral votes. So they receive the tally on the screen, 178 electoral votes to 113. That map of the U.S. is slowly filling in, and we will continue to bring it on to throughout the night as we make it.
So moving to the Senate and back to the Rust Belt as well. The Fox News decision desk say it is too early to call this race, which we've been watching between incumbent Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin, who is in close race now with Republican baker and entrepreneur Eric Hovde.
Michigan Senate race also too early to call. Former GOP Congressman Mike Rogers competing against current Democratic House Representative Elissa Slotkin. In Arizona, Democratic House Representative Ruben Gallego has a lead on Republican candidate Carrie Lake. Also too early to call out there.
Go to Nebraska, and there are 2 Senate races on the ballot today, and the race between incumbent Deb Fischer and independent Dan Osborne is close to call, and too early to call, I should say, according to our decision desk. Fox News can project that Republican Pete Ricketts will continue to serve as a Nebraska senator.
In Texas, two-term Senator Ted Cruz is locked in a close race against current Democratic Congressman Kamala Harris. Too early to call that race according to the decision desk, but they can project that Minnesota's Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar will sail to a 4th term.
New York Democratic Senator Kristen Gillibrand will win another term in the Empire State, and Democrats will hold their seat in New Mexico, where Senator Martin Heinrich defeats Republican Nella Domenici.
Daughter of the late Senator Domenici. North Dakota's GOP Senator Kevin Cramer will easily win the Senate term, and in Wyoming, Senator John Barrasso will also win re-election as he serves as the chair of the Senate Republican Conference.
Let's take a look at how the Senate is stacking up at this hour, 9:04 on the East Coast, and we have 46 Republicans. The one flip, which we have mentioned, is West Virginia, waiting for other states that are on the bubble and close and early at this point in the night. 37 Democrats are hanging on to their seats in the United States Senate.
I think this is where everything starts to gel.
Exactly.
We start to get more of the hard numbers. Let's go to Bill at the billboard. Harold, I'm sorry, Texas went to the Republicans.
I don't know. I just think the numbers. I'm only looking at some of the power vote numbers and how the candidates performing with minority
I know.
suburban areas.
Okay, so a couple things here. You go to Michigan. We'll be in Ohio in a moment. Okay, just want to show you this. I mean, this is really, it's got to be your target right now. Fulton County, heavily populated, and a ton of votes there, okay, and haven't really moved. So the estimated number of votes still out is about 30%. Kamala Harris hanging in number 7. She's going to win the county, okay? Question is the margin. The question is whether or not, Trump is chewing in this African-American male vote that we were talking about, because I want to come up to North Carolina. I'll show you a county. Okay, this is rural, and it's also African-American. 47% African-American. It's a small county here. It's called Anson, all right? Trump's winning, okay? What's that mean? Okay, this is Biden 4 years ago by 4 points, okay? Trump right now, flipping that county, is there a minority vote out there that is something to buoy his campaign? That's something we got to consider. Another thing I want to point out, just while I got you here, okay, guys? This is the part of the state that was wrapped out of the hurricane, right? This is Trump territory, right? 61%, 68%, 81%. But coming here for a little bit, this is Montgomery, all right? This is Asheville. You expect this to go blue, indeed it has right now, about 2/3 of the vote. No, sorry, 60% of the vote, and she's got 2/3 of the vote right now. But these counties here, you just wonder if there's an effect here, all right? Come 53. This is Transylvania. I was checking this out a short time ago. This is Rutherford, 72. A lot of that vote's still out there. Well, why am I showing you this? Because your comparison for percentage is that you expect Trump to do well out here. 72, Henderson, 58, Haywood, 62. So we're going to see through the night whether or not that storm damage had an effect on the vote turnout in North Carolina. Just keep that in mind as we move through the night. Also, I just pumped up to here in Ohio. We saw this a moment ago based on the percentage spread. It seems like Trump is upping his number. I made the point that he won the state by 8 points in 2016, 8 points in 2020. And he was trailing there the last time we checked out the Buckeye State. But right now, the number has improved tremendously for Trump. So he's starting to track a little more toward that 8 points. And you were making the observation earlier about the Iowa poll from over the weekend. The folks in Ohio vote like the folks in Iowa. If Ann Seltzer's poll that won registered, and Kamala Harris win in Iowa by 3 points. A lot of people dismiss that. And if you're going to draw that comparison with Ohio, I think right now you can say that maybe Iowa's not going to go that way, but we'll see throughout the course of the night there. So
I think we should get a cut from the Des Moines Register. We mentioned it at 5 times.
Just go that popped up, guys. It's the first time you're right about that, right? There's something on the side of that sheet right there. Okay, so this is Michigan. The first time I've looked at it, right? We got 10% in, all right? Look at this. Robert Kennedy can make a difference in Michigan. He is on the ballot. They tried to get him off the ballot. The court said, no, you got to be on the ballot. He's drawing 2,455 raw votes. Okay, now, if Michigan is that close, it's just something that we're going to have to watch throughout the night to see whether or not this is some sort of spoiler for the red team or whether it helps out Team Blue in Michigan so far.
So let's interact with the panel here. Trey Gavin here. You know, what about that point about third party? RFK Jr. tries, first of all, the Democrats are trying to prevent him from getting on the ballot. And then the Democrats try to prevent him from getting off the ballot. And he's on the ballot in Michigan and Wisconsin, also Minnesota. But Michigan and Wisconsin, obviously, if it comes down to really tight, that could make a difference.
Why would anyone vote for someone who doesn't want to be the president and is asked you not to? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who are these 0.4% that are voting for someone who has begged you not to vote for him? If you want to see him in Washington, don't vote for him. But it reminds me of Jill Stein. I mean, I think Jill Stein cost Hillary Clinton a say. I know that Ross Perot cost Bush a presidential election.
Coming live from the VIP, heard the nightlife, I was like, for that Nemo. They didn't say, wanna see my knee. The whole city got this, heard he got 3. The other rapper got a hit show. He said the city on 5, soon as he got 3. The team back now. Wrong don't even know how to act now. Hit the club, strippers getting naked before I sat down. See a ball and money stacked tall and shack down. See a bishop wedding to make the on the back down. I'm on the road doing shows, doing back down. Mississippi to Philly, Albuquerque to Chat Town. Got the crowd yelling, bring them out. Check the lane like a game of chess. You wanna beat them, bring your best. When you standing in your front yard, yelling, bring them out. Hey, all my hot girls yelling, bring them out. Hey, all the dope boys yelling, bring them out. Hey, the back day yelling, bring them out. Hey, all the front yard yelling, bring them out. Hey, all my hot girls yelling, bring them out. Hey, all the dope boys yelling, bring them out. Hey, the back day yelling, bring them out. Hey,
I'm savage, had too nasty. Talk big, but my bank account matching. Hood, but I'm classy. Rich, but I'm ratchet. Haters get my name and they mouth got it gagging. You say the way that thing move is so moving. I told that boy, we gotta keep it low, we need a move.
left cheek, right cheek, drop it low this one. Texas up for this thing, put you up on this game. I be parking my frame, gang, 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 gang. If you don't jump to put jeans on, baby, you don't feel my pain. You gon' give me hype, write my name in ice. Can't argue with these lazy basics, I just raise my price. I'm a boss, I'm a leader, I pull up in my two-seater, and my mama was a savage. Got this here from Tina, I'm a savage, yeah.
for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be looking at you from the face down. On Mac 11, you can boom with the bass down. Skimming, and let me tell you about my life. Painkillers only put me in the twilight. We're pretty Benjamin is the highlight. I tell my mama I love her, but this what I like. Lord knows, 20 of them in my Chevy. Tell them mother come and get me, reaping everything I sow. So my karma come in heaven, no preliminary hearings on my record. I'm a big gangster in silence for the record. Tell the world I know it's too late. Post the girls I think I'm no great. Trying to side my face is all day. Won't you please believe when I say, when you know we've been hurt, been down before. When our pride was low, looking at the world like where do we go? And we hate poor, when the killer's dead in the street for sure. I'm at the preacher's door, my knees getting weak and my door might blow, but we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. What you want? You a house? You a car? 40 acres and a mule, a piano, a guitar, anything. See, my name is Lucy, I'm your dog. You can live at the mall. I can see the evil, I can tell it. I know it's illegal, I don't think about it. I deposit every year to zero, thinking of my partner. Put the candy, penning on the Rico, digging in my pocket. In a profit, big enough to feed you every day. My life, get another dollar just to keep you with the presence of the Chico. I don't talk about it, be about it. Every day I see you. If I got it, you know you got it. Every I can reach you. Pet dog, my dog, that's all. Big bang, get jagged, I shut the bag for y'all. I rap, I'm black on tracks, so rest assured. My rights, my wrongs, I'm right till I'm right with God. When you know we've been hurt, been down before. When our pride was low, looking at the world like where do we go? And we hate poor, when the killer's dead in the street for sure. I'm at the preacher's door, my knees getting weak and my gun might blow, but we gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
I'm
Nebraska, one of two states that awards electoral college votes based on congressional district. Only 30% of the state. You see all this gray, those small, rural, farm country, beautiful, beautiful parts of Nebraska. They tend to vote for Donald Trump in overwhelming numbers. So let's wait and see that one play out. But then you move east, and remember, what's the surprise poll of the last week of the campaign? It was the Iowa poll. And so the Vice President of the United States actually, no clear leader, but 47 to 43, I think he might have the right, a little bit ahead of Donald Trump. And what has been is he's brought Obama up to see the reliable state. Well, 19% of the vote. But at the moment, Democrats in Iowa, this is Philadelphia, saying we told you so, but we have a long way to go in the county. Right? So both counties will go 83% of the vote, and this is almost the downside for Democrats if you will. You get 56% of the vote, but you're at 83% already. So you've got some more coming in, but this is your biggest basket, biggest Democratic stronghold, the capital of Des Moines. You haven't been to Des Moines in 10 years, it's a very different city. You might remember, one young professional from Jersey, you feel like Democratic stronghold there. Joe Biden got 56% in Des Moines 4 years ago. So if you think, oh wow, look at that, just be careful and be cautious. But we are waiting. Ames, College Town, right up here, Shorty County. Ames doing nothing right now. That's a place where President Biden got 57% of the vote. When we get numbers here, we'll look at that. But let's see that. The Democrats are going to surprise us. Even by making Iowa closer to what 4 years ago, you'll see some math in your county. So enthusiasm. Enthusiasm matters in a competitive environment. So we'll see what happens with Iowa. Again, it's been a red state for quite some time. And just to put the exclamation point on it's growing. The state of Missouri, as the Vice President of the United States head right now, Missouri doesn't really improve the government for a very long time. Again, let's go with surprises for will count votes. Now let's come in to the Battleground where we are waiting. Wisconsin blue was red last time. Still very, very low. 18% of the vote counted. This is critical. The Vice President Harris, if, emphasis on if, you can win Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, all that Nebraska congressional district I just showed you, then you're the President of the United States. That's not easy. Don't have it easy. The easiest path is keep the blue wall. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. Well, let's move up Wisconsin so you can get a better look at home. He's ahead right now at the moment, but we're only 18% of the vote. And again, John's broken record tonight, but I want you to look at all those gray areas. And I just want to remind you, in most of them, not all of them, but in most of them, you're in rural country. So as you come back to the 2024 map, and you say, Vice President's ahead, that's where you want to be. You want to be ahead. You've got a long way to go. So what are we looking for? I'm going to do this in reverse order. Because of the questions about young voters turning out, whether unhappiness for the White House over Israel, Gaza, Israel, Hamas policy would impact youth turnout. 38% in Dane County, that's the University of Wisconsin. Absolutely essential for any Democrat in Wisconsin. Run it up here. Not just in the percentage, but with the raw math. So let's look. 38% of the vote. It's a long way to go. Long way to go. Let's just compare it to President Biden at 76%. Keep an eye on it. Don't panic yet if you're a Democrat. Keep an eye on that because Vice President needs to be as close to that as she can be. And at the moment, he's running a little bit behind. That's Dane County. That's matters. This is the biggest population center. Spent a lot of time here for the last year. The big question here is the black voters turnout. And the subset question of that is the Donald Trump hero, especially among black men. We did see some evidence of that in our several trips to Milwaukee. At the moment, I was texting with somebody in the Milwaukee voter, by the way, who said they thought turnout was actually going pretty good for the Democrats to see if that turns out. At the moment, 25% voted, 66% if you round it up, 32% for Donald Trump. So let's just go back in time, we're only a long way to go. In Milwaukee, sometimes before it's late. If you go back in time, Joe Biden again, 69%, Trump at 29%. So 69% is what jumps out. Trump is a little above. Right now, Trump's a little above where he was 4 years ago. He's a little behind where the president was 4 years ago. It's only 25% of the vote. We're not pouring cement on any of this. That's what you say. You got to keep an eye on that as we go forward. Then you move over here, you get to the Wild Counties, Waukesha, the biggest among them. This is a Republican suburb. Long has been a Republican suburb. The challenge for Democrats, I've been saying this about Trump. In the blue, in the battleground states for 10 years in blue, where's Trump's number in the suburbs? He can compete. He's not going to compete. That's the challenge for the Vice President here. Waukesha County tends to be a Republican suburb. So there she's at 40%, Trump at 59%. Again, you go back in time, 59% to 39% 4 years ago. Welcome to another 40,000 vote race probably again in Wisconsin based on that. 66% of the vote there is essentially matching where we were in 2020. And again, just so you remember our history here in the blue wall, Harris is leading right now. President Donald Trump won Wisconsin by 22,000 votes at welcome to Wisconsin. It's the state that tends to hang around the margins for 14,000 votes, which is why that's totally leading to me. Earlier, I should just put up 34,000 to shut me up. Then we go through the tax. In Wisconsin, very early there. Let's go over to Battleground, Michigan. Let me come back for a second. See that? They say that way, and it's early. It's early. Don't play your monkey. Don't make any bets. Don't pop the champagne. You see Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, right? Especially if you're looking at the map where North Carolina and Georgia are red at the moment. They're not done either. They're not done either. But if you're a Democrat, you're kind of, you're nervous about this, then you shouldn't be loud. You shouldn't be optimistic about that. So let's take it away and see what I mean by that. Number one, let's just start to use the go west. Up to 32% in Pennsylvania, long way to go. Long way to go. Just want to check on where we are in Philadelphia, still at 26%. You get Philadelphia over 50%, and we can start to understand where the map is elsewhere as you go. But again, you see most of the rural areas filling up to Trump. That's his strength. That is his strength in Pennsylvania is one of his best states. Let's come up here to Michigan. We're still only at 14% in Michigan. And we have our first vote out of Wayne County, and so from Wayne County directly to the map, from the independence and all that stuff. We're at 1%, so that's unlikely to happen. The question is, where does it end up? This one's more interesting. Macomb County, again, 500 votes. 506 votes. Trump wants to keep it somewhere around there, but back in time, see at 53%. If Donald Trump can win Macomb County, he's in competitive. He's in competitive states, higher above 50 yes. Now, this is one of the signature key counties for Vice President Harris and her Michigan, Texas. Oakland County, birthplace of Mitt Romney, used to be a Republican county when I started doing this. He's at 55% right now, and it's past half the vote. So looking at 55%, a little behind Joe Biden. After that, we're not done yet. A little bit behind. Biden at 434,000 votes for the county. And you're just checking on turnout. It's 234,000. About 54%. So you're in the ballpark of similar turnout. Let's see what happens when that comes in. And you're going to watch that number for that number. Tiny changes in margins to affect the Battleground state. So Trump's at 43. Let's do that way. Trump at 42. Again, it's tiny. You're both states, tiny, and matter. Keep an eye on that as we go through the count in Michigan. And then one more. Let's come back and see. The blue wall at the moment is blue. In some Gulf states, it used to be reliably red, and now Battleground states at the moment are red. We're just checking, see if anything else came in. Georgia is 79%. Texas leaves 240,000. It's 230,000 for a while ago. Everything is coming down a little bit. Just to remind everybody, in this house, 20 years ago, Donald Trump was leading Georgia by about 244,000 votes. Joe Biden's leading the Electoral County. So that's what's going to happen this time. It just means we'd rather be ahead behind, but we're not going to. Let's come back up to North Carolina. We're at 63% in North Carolina. This count's coming up now. This count's coming up a little bit. They're 170.
Donald Trump was leading Georgia by about 244,000 votes. Joe Biden won Georgia when the votes were all counted. Doesn't mean that's what's going to happen this time. It just means you'd rather be ahead than behind, but we're not done yet. Let's come back up to North Carolina. We're at 63% in North Carolina. This count's coming up now. This count's coming up a little bit. You're at 177,000 vote lead. That would be a blowout. Anything in triple digits in North Carolina, again, go back 4 years ago, the closest of the battleground states Trump carried, 74,000 votes then. You see how close it was, 50 to 49. And so let's come back now and take a look. The blue then is where the blue is now, except for this one out here, I believe. This one, Haywood County, well, we're only at 4%. If you go back in time, that was a Republican county. I look out there because, and if anyone's out there watching, we hope you're doing all right. This is an area of the state that was hit hardest by Hurricane Helene, and the state and the county officials and the local officials, God bless them. They did amazing things just so people could vote. I know that more important things are, can you live, can you get housing, can you get food, can you get water, and things like that. But the fact that people are voting out there in good numbers is a testament to the state and to the county officials. And people have heard a lot of misinformation out there. You see what's happening. Democracy is unfolding in western North Carolina. This is where it matters most if you are the Democrats. And only 14% of the vote is in. So you see Donald Trump leading in North Carolina, but you see only 14% of the vote in Mecklenburg County, which tells you, let's just take this for a while. Let's just go through and see what happens as we go. It's 11% of the statewide population. The vice president's at 60% right now. So you go back in time. Again, this is, if you're the vice president's camp, he lost. Joe Biden lost North Carolina, getting 67% of the vote in Mecklenburg County. She, at the moment, is getting 60% of the vote. Is that meaningful? We don't know yet. We don't know yet. It would be meaningful if we end up there, but it's only 14% of the vote right now. So then you come back out here, and again, that would be Donald Trump doing better in the suburbs. If he gets her number down from Joe Biden, that would mean Donald Trump is doing better with black voters and in the suburbs. But we watched that. We saw it a long time ago. Wake County is Raleigh, number 2. Mecklenburg, number 1 population-wise. Wake County is number 2. She's at 64% right there. Trump's at 35. You go back in time, Trump's at 36. She's at 62. Roughly the same. Roughly the same. Won't make a big deal about that now. Sometimes roughly, you start looking into the margins of roughly if we get to 80, 90% of the vote. Move over here to Durham, your 6th largest county now, right? So Raleigh, Durham, the Research Triangle, young voters, some black voters, some college-educated suburban voters in the healthcare industry, and the other industries in the Research Triangle there. 81% of the vote right now with 85% in. So this is where you can make a comparison. You're at 85% of the vote, you can say, okay, where are we? Where was Joe Biden? 80%. So she's matching Joe Biden here in a key place. Trump's at 18% in 2020. We see him at 18% now, a little bit below that. So this, if you're the vice president, you're matching the president. The question is that good enough, right? He lost the state by 74,000 votes. So we come back out, where else do you want to look? You look for the other Democratic pockets, right? Cumberland County, this is Fayetteville. We're just starting, right? We're just starting. This is the 5th largest county in the state. So that's, if you're the vice president, you think there's some room for growth there because we're not there yet. And again, I just want to show you, you see the blue in the urban areas. North Carolina along here, that's the belt here. These are black voters here for the most part in these Democratic counties. Absolutely essential to the vice president's math. And then you come down to Georgia, again, in these states, you just see all that red. Not a lot of people live in those, but you do county after county after county after county. You run it up, and Jake, as I toss back to you, just one more check. Now Fulton County still at 80%. So the Georgia math, we still have the biggest population center where we're waiting to see some key results.
All right, John, as we stand by for the next poll closings at the top of the hour, here's an update on the race to 2-7. Donald Trump has 154 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 81 electoral votes. Obviously, 270 electoral votes are needed to win. Now, another key race alert. Let's go to the states where we have not called. Kamala Harris in the lead in Pennsylvania, 51.4% of the vote. Donald Trump has 47.7% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 88,000 plus votes of a lead, but it's about 35% of the vote that's been counted in Pennsylvania, about a third. Still a lot of vote to count in Pennsylvania. Michigan, Kamala Harris has 52% of the vote. Donald Trump has 46.1% of the vote. Kamala Harris with a 49,000 plus vote lead. That's with only an estimated 15% of the vote counted in the battleground of Michigan. In Wisconsin, another battleground, Kamala Harris 52.2% of the vote. Donald Trump 46.1% of the vote. Harris with a 52,000 plus vote lead, but only 27% of the vote counted in Wisconsin, still very early in Wisconsin. Battleground North Carolina, Donald Trump still in the lead there with 52.1% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 46.7% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 201,000 plus vote lead as of now. That's with 64% of the estimated vote counted in the battleground of North Carolina. In battleground Georgia, Donald Trump in the lead, 51.9% of the vote. Kamala Harris, 47.1% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 208,000 plus vote lead. That's with 79% of the estimated vote in Georgia counted. Still a lot of votes to count there, but a lot of votes have already counted. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, Donald Trump. In the Commonwealth of Virginia, Donald Trump has 49.5% of the vote. Kamala Harris, 48.6% of the vote. That is a 28,000 now vote lead with 63% of the vote counted. I am going to now bring you a projection. And CNN can project Louisiana will go to Donald Trump. Louisiana with its 8 electoral votes as expected to Donald Trump. Let's see what that impact is on the electoral vote count. Donald Trump has 162 votes, electoral votes. Kamala Harris has 81 electoral votes. She has exactly half. 270 votes are needed to win. We're getting deeper into the night and another round of results. We're counting down to the top of the hour, 10 p.m. Eastern, when 16 electoral votes are on the line in 3 states. Every vote is vital to get to the winning total of 270. Polling places are about to close in Montana and Battleground, Nevada. and in Utah. Nevada is the key battleground to watch in the next hour. Kamala Harris fighting to hold on to Nevada for the Democrats, a state that Donald Trump narrowly lost in 2020 and in 2016. As we await the end of voting in Nevada, let's check in with Jim Acosta, who's at a polling place in Las Vegas. And Jim, you have new information from the Nevada Secretary of State.
Yeah, Jake, I mean, one interesting development that has emerged here in Nevada is they're running into a problem with some of the mail-in ballots that have come in so far. Some of the signatures have been an issue, and election workers are now reaching out to some of those folks out there who have signature issues. Your signatures need to match those that are on file with the state. And an interesting anecdote here, one of the problems that they're running into is that a lot of young voters don't know how to sign their names. And so when they've signed their names onto some of these ballots, they are not jiving with what state officials have on file. And so what they're doing at this point is sort of frantically reaching out to a lot of young voters across the state of Nevada to say, hey, wait a minute. Hopefully they're looking at their text and saying, hey, wait a minute, there's a problem with your ballot. You need to check in with the state and make sure that your signature is verified so your ballot can be counted. So that is one thing that they're looking at this point. There are about 14,000 of these ballot issues that they're trying to rectify. They do have several days to work that out. And as you mentioned, Jake, the polls are about to close here in Nevada. If you're still in line, you can stay in line. We heard out in Nye County, which is about an hour outside of Vegas, they've got a line about 2.5 hours long. And so that process is going to go well into the night in that county as well as here in Las Vegas, Jake.
All right, Jim Acosta in Las Vegas, thanks so much. Let's go to Kyung La in Phoenix. Kyung?
We're in Maricopa County, Phoenix, and the most populous county, Jake, in this entire state. As Maricopa County goes, so does the rest of Arizona. That's why we are here. We are watching the clock. In just minutes, in about 8 to 10 minutes, we are hearing that the county will be reporting its very first batch of election results. 11 electoral votes on the line here out of Arizona. Maricopa County will give us a strong indication after that first drop, but it takes a long time to count all of the ballots. The first drop that we're going to see, the first results, will be the early vote that is counted before Election Day. And it's not all of them, but it is the majority of the early vote that is counted before Election Day. That is what we are going to know in just minutes. We are watching to see what is happening. And the sense that we are getting, Jake, from all of the election officials we've spoken to here in Maricopa County is that they are overwhelmingly pleased that there hasn't been major problems here in this county. Things have gone relatively smoothly. Yes, there have been some small issues here and there, but overwhelmingly, they say this has gone fairly well, and they are really looking forward to this, continuing to keep that going as they go throughout the night. After that first report, Jake, we are expecting to hear further reports as that in-person vote from today starts to come in, Jake.
All right, Kyung La in Phoenix, Arizona, big battleground out west. David Chalian has exit polling from Nevada. David, what are you learning about Nevada voters and the issues that they're focused on?
Well, the democracy and the economy are battling for that top spot. 33% of Nevada voters in this election, Jake, say democracy is the most important issue to their vote. 32%, basically the same, say the economy is most important. Then that is followed by immigration at 15%, abortion at 11%, and foreign policy down in single digits. Your family's financial situation, is it better or worse than 4 years ago? A plurality, nearly half of Nevada voters, say 48% say it was worse than 4 years ago. It's worse today than it was 4 years ago. Only 22% say it's better than 4 years ago. 29% say it's about the same. Undocumented immigrants in the U.S. should be offered a chance at legal status or should be deported. 54%, a majority in Nevada, side with the Harris position on this, offer a chance at legal status. 42% in Nevada side with the Trump position that they should be deported. Abortion, should it be mostly legal or illegal? 68% of Nevada voters, nearly 7 to 10, say abortion should be mostly legal. 28% say it should be illegal. And Biden's job approval rating is at 40% in Nevada, 59% disapprove. That is about where it is nationally.
All right, David. Thanks so much. Let's go to John King at the Magic Wall.
Well, Jake, we're starting to watch now as we go further west. We have more states coming in. Some of the states we talked about earlier that we thought were aberrations or early votes you see right here now, including Kansas. Kansas has gone back to being a Republican state. We expect it will finish out that way. There are some Democratic pockets of support here. They're mostly in the eastern part of the state, Manhattan, Kansas. Well, remember, it was Kansas that sounded the first alarm after Dobbs, where the amendment passed out there protecting abortion rights. So we'll watch the result margin. We expect Kansas will be a red state at the end of the night, but we'll keep an eye on that to see about that. Then you keep coming forward. Here's the one that's interesting, and it's staying interesting, but we're only at 31% of the vote. Iowa, which again has not been a state we paid much attention to since Barack Obama left the scene. Donald Trump won it comfortably twice. The Harris lead is shrinking a little bit, but she's still ahead in Iowa, 51% to 48%. And if you look through, I said earlier we were at 83% in Polk County. We're still there. That's the bulk of your Democratic votes. And you start moving down. You come over here to Cedar Rapids, which is Lynn County. You're only at 34% of the vote here. So there's some business to be done in terms of Democratic votes for the vice president in what is an interesting state. If this one is competitive, it would be a surprise. And election night surprises are always interesting. You see there Dubuque County there. We'll see how that one plays out as we go forward. So now let's come over to some of the bigger battlegrounds. Again, if you're in the Harris campaign, especially because we're not done by any means. But if North Carolina and Georgia, Trump's ahead there, then you'd rather be the candidate ahead in the blue wall states. And at the moment, the vice president is 34%, a little more than a third of the vote counted in Wisconsin. Again, you see Trump filling in the rural areas. Just want to check. I teed this up earlier. Brown County, Green Bay, blue-collar workers. Kamala Harris is not going to win Brown County. The question is, can she compete? When Joe Biden won the state, you see she's at 33%. We're only at 12%. So we have to do this a little bit later. But Joe Biden had 45%. So it's a key test of white blue-collar workers. Can the Vice President of the United States try to at least come close to where the president was? At the moment, she is not, but it's very early in the count right there. Again, the foundation of any Democratic victory is down here in Milwaukee. We're almost at half the vote right there. She's at 67% there. Let's just go back in time and look. The president was at 69%. It sounds like not a big deal, 67, 69. Let's see. Right now, we're only at 48% of the vote. If at the end of the night, she's underperforming the president in Milwaukee by a couple points, that can make the difference in a state, Jake, that in 2 elections in a row has been decided by 20,000 votes. Jake?
That's right, John. And we're just moments away from another round of poll closings. Voting is about to end in 3 states, including the key battleground of Nevada. A total of 16 electoral votes are on the line right now. And CNN can project that Donald Trump will win the state of Montana. As expected, Trump gets Montana with its 4 electoral votes. CNN can also project that Donald Trump will win the state of Utah. As expected, Utah with its 6 electoral votes. Nevada is too early to call, a battleground state that Donald Trump has narrowly lost in the last 2 elections, but is making a big play for this election. Let's look at the electoral math right now. Donald Trump has 172 electoral votes. Kamala Harris with 81 electoral votes, 270 electoral votes needed to win. Neither of them is there yet. Let's look at the key races now. Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris, 49.9% of the vote. Donald Trump has narrowed her 20,000 plus vote lead. He's at 49.2% of the vote. More votes have come in from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 43% of the estimated vote from Pennsylvania is in, and Kamala Harris right now has an 18,000 plus vote lead there. Kamala Harris in the lead in Michigan, 51.6% of the vote. Donald Trump has 46.5% of the vote. Kamala Harris with a 46,000 plus vote lead. Still, only 16% of the estimated vote in Michigan has been counted. In Battleground, Wisconsin, Harris is at 49.8% of the vote. Donald Trump is at 48.4% of the vote. She has a 15,000 plus vote lead. That's with more than a third, 35% of the vote counted in Wisconsin. In Battleground, North Carolina, Donald Trump maintaining his lead. He has 52% of the vote. Kamala Harris has 46.8% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 196,000 plus vote lead. That is with 2/3, 66% of the estimated vote in North Carolina counted. In Battleground, Georgia, Donald Trump maintaining his lead, 51.9% of the vote. Kamala Harris, 47.1% of the vote. Donald Trump with a 208,000 plus vote lead. That's with 79% of the estimated vote in from the Battleground state of Georgia. We're now getting an update on the vote in North Carolina. Let's go to John Kane actually right now. John Kane, what can you tell us?
Well, Jake, you see the map, and again, as we get later in the night, this is where you start to see things change, especially if a candidate pulls out ahead in a state that not normally is in their lane, if you will. And by that, I'm going to refer. refer to Iowa. Just a moment ago, I was showing you Iowa with the vice president ahead. Still competitive, but you see Iowa is now red. There was that late Iowa poll that showed the possibility of the vice president maybe being a little bit ahead of Donald Trump. No clear leader. It's a competitive poll. And this is a competitive race at the moment. 36%. This would be a surprise, right? We said Virginia's a surprise at how close it is. We'll see if it ends close, but it's a surprise at the moment. This is a surprise as well. Donald Trump just 3,800 votes ahead in Battleground, Iowa, a state he carried quite comfortably